Hello and welcome to a tutorial on Elscript in Lightwave 3D. So we're going to be learning how to create plugins for Lightwave 3D. Exciting stuff, I know. So Elscript is just one of three languages that you can use to create plugins, and Elscript is the easiest as far as I know. So let's get it on and see what we can do with it. All right. So first of all, why would you want to use this? Why would you want to learn Elscript? Because first of all, you can automate a lot of things in your workflow. And then secondly, you can create actual plugins to give your version of Lightwave extra functionality that suits your workflow so that you speed up how you work. All right, so if we are in, layout. So open your layout, go to the Utilities tab and go to LS Commander and click. And this wonderful item is loaded. So Elscript Commander is a place where you can actually test in some commands and type some things here and then hit the execute button to see those commands be executed. So you type in a few commands here line after line and then they're executed in that order. Now the trick is to know how to create the effect that you want, what command to type to get the result that you want. So how do you know what command to type? Well, the advantage with Elscript Commander is that it actually shows you the commands down here. So for example, if I want to go to frame 10, I click on frame 10, the command is written down here, go to frame 10. So if I go to frame 20, it shows me that go to frame 20, go to frame 19, and so on. So if I go to go to frame 10, I right click this, it comes up here. Instead of me having to type it, so it comes up here when I right click and then I can simply execute. So you see we are at frame 19. If I hit execute, we've gone back to frame 10. So by just changing this number here, I can tell it where I want to go. So let's go to frame 130 and hit execute. And there we are at frame 130. It's that easy. Okay, so for other things, like for example, let's say I select a camera. I go to cameras. The command here is edit cameras. If I hit properties, the command is item properties. Just like that. So if you're unsure of the command, just do the action and then check what Elscript Commander writes down here. That's how you know what command it is. And then you can simply right click to bring these in order. Right? So if I execute them, they will happen again. It's as simple as that. All right, so let's do some, but be warned that not everything can be automated with Elscript. For example, if I go to the lights and hit properties, right? I can change the light intensity, let's say to 2. And if I go down here on Elscript, I'll see light intensity 2. So that's how you change the light intensity. But if I want to change the light type, all I'll see is refresh. So every time you see refresh, it means that item cannot be automated. Unfortunately, not everything can be automated, so we have to limit ourselves to what we can have. All right, so let's do something kind of useful with this information. So first of all, I want to add a no object. So in order to add a no, the command is add no. Now this is case sensitive, so if there's supposed to be a capital A, if I put a small letter a, it won't work. So make sure that you know the capitalization. For example, add and no are two words here, so there's camel casing here going on. And then if I leave a space and just type something like some no, I don't want to leave a space in the no name, so this is the name of the no. So if I execute, a no is created with the name some no, just like the command says here. So how did I know that this is how to do it? Well, if I go to items here and click no and then add, let me give it another name like no name, right? And then hit OK. If I go down here, I'll see it has added a no. This is the command add no name. So this is how I knew that this is the command I need to add my no. So it's as simple as that. Just go and check, do an action, check what it says here, and that's your command. Now, if you look at some of these things, there's numbers at the end here. There's an integer. So what this number means is that that's the item ID. So this ID is created by Layout itself, which you might not know yourself. So in order to make certain programs happen, I'll show you later in other videos how to get around this, because in the scene the ID could be different to the item that you want to select. So we'll see how to get around that. But let's create our simple script. We've added a no here called some no. Now what we want to do is create a few keyframes for this no. So let's select the no, which is some no, go to frame 10, and we know how to go to frame 10 by using go to frame 10. So let's right click, there we are. Let's move it up like so. To do that, it's add position. So there's the X, the Y, and the Z. So let's select that and right click it. And then let's go to frame 20. Go down and check, right click. And then let's move our cursor or our item. And then let's get that command as well, right click. Let's move to frame 30. And let's get that command as well. And then let's move our item. Let's get that command as well. So as you can see, we've created some actions here for LScript to execute. So if I hit execute, it's going to create another no and do exactly what we did there. Now I could select these items, copy, go to Notepad, and then just paste in there and save this as a text file. And the next time I want to perform this exact action, all I need to do is copy these, come back to LScript Commander and paste, and then hit execute, and it will do it another time, a third time, like in this case. Okay, so this is how you create a simple script that you can execute using LScript Commander. But if you want to be a little bit more advanced, we can turn this into an actual script, an LS, or what you could call a plugin. So let's go to do that after you are done and satisfied with your. Of course, doing things this way using LScript Commander has some limitations. For example, what if I want the cursor to play for a second and then stop? I cannot do that in this format. So in the next coming videos, we're going to learn how to do more complex stuff than this. So if I want to turn this into an actual script that I can use later on with a button, like an actual plugin, I go to session and then say convert to LScript. So as you can see, it has been converted to an LScript. So let's copy this text and see what's going on here. So I'll paste it in a text editor. I'm using Sublime Text. And so there's this line saying warnings, at warnings. So leave that line there because this line makes sure that all the warnings are shushed so they don't disturb you, because certain warnings can be very annoying to the user. So leave that warnings there to muzzle them. And then there's this part called generic. Now generic is required for a generic because this is a generic plugin. There are several types of plugins in Layout which we'll learn over the course of these videos, and the first one is generic. So you have to type this generic, open bracket. This makes this part something called a function. So inside these brackets, that's where our commands have been put. Now if you see, each command has a semicolon at the end, so this is required for an actual script. Every end of line should have a semicolon, and you see we've added some brackets here instead of just space and numbers. So this is the format to follow, but this was done automatically for us, so we don't have to worry about memorizing this yet. So this is a complete plugin right here. So let me save this. I'm going to save it to a folder which I created called My Scripts. Okay, so create your own folder and then go to name it first script, and don't forget to add the .ls at the end to make sure that it's recognized as a script. So save this. I'm going to replace what I have, and then let's go back to Layout and let's clear the session here. Close this, clear the scene, and then let me go to Utilities, Add Plugins, select the same plugin you've created, and down here you see one plugin has been added. So congratulations, this is your first plugin. So if you go to Additional and look for it, you'll find it. It's called First Script, is it? Yeah, First Script. So click on it, and voila, exactly what you wrote in the script has happened. Okay. Now you can imagine if you had to make 100 of these no objects. Now you just need to click one button and everything happens at once. So that's the power of scripting. Now, if you've noticed, we don't have an interface for our plugin. It simply runs in the background. So if we want our users to be able to interact with our plugins, that's what we'll learn in the coming videos. All right, so we'll learn to create interfaces so the user can put in some numbers, some text, and a lot of other things, so they can choose some parameters of how your script should run. Okay, so if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're generous or feeling generous, just become a Patreon. Go to patreon.com. The link is in the description, and become a Patreon and help me out, because that will encourage me to make more videos. Or you can simply subscribe to the channel.